Yes! Welcome back to the stream. Big ups. Hold up. Just gonna probably fringe a quick brush. There we go. A little bit better. But yes, guys. Welcome back to the stream. Big ups. We've had some fair news today. Now then, nothing in terms of incoming, sadly. But we have had some big news nonetheless surrounding Nico Riley and a bit more recently, Vitor Hayes. So, without further ado, let's just hop straight into it, okay? We're going to go straight to the Fabrizio Romano quote or tweet that confirms this. So, actually, you know what? We'll start here. Actually. Big up, this is Sissy. How you doing? We'll start with this. Tiki has departed his role as director of football at Man City following 13 years at the club. Several titles, excellent job, and legend for his impact in this era. And yeah, it's nail on the head, really. You know, look, it's not been the prettiest of endings for Tiki, but he can take a bit of pleasure in the fact that he helped out a little bit in, I assume, in this area of bringing in these good signings for us this summer. But yeah, Tiki, for me, you know, despite how we have slandered him a little bit in terms of the business he's done over the last year or two, overall, his wonderful record cannot be discredited. He's had an absolutely wonderful spell at City, 13 years out of him. And yeah, good luck to him. You know, good luck to him, whatever he's got, wherever he goes now. You know, I suspect it might just be retirement now. He's in his 60s, so he might just chill now. You know, he's probably loaded. He's got nothing else to go for. Big meltdown over Vitor Hayes. Confuses me. He's never going to play if he stays this season. Trust me, it's best to loan him. I will cover him in a moment, okay? I have issues with it, but not in terms of the actual loan. Just the whole thing on a whole. But we'll go on to it in just a moment. We're going to go and find Nico Riley. Exclusive. Sissy and Nico Riley have agreed a new deal to keep the 20-year-old at the club. Leverkusen had two bids rejected. Sissy turned down approaches, also from Premier League, and decided to offer him a new contract, verbal agreement done, and a new shirt number. To my knowledge, okay, with Nico Riley, he is like one of the first academy players, at least in a long while, to actually get a shirt number change. There is James Trafford, to be fair, if you want to count him, because he's obviously... Did he ever have a first team number, though, to be fair? But he's the first player, to my knowledge, to actually get that number change. Phil Foden obviously kept his 47. McAtee is still 82, I think, or something like that. Bob is 52. No, Lewis is 52. McAtee, I think, is like 85. You know, so there's so yeah, for me, I think this is cool. You know, new shirt number. You know, that for me, that tells you that the club really does value this guy. And I'm excited to see what that shirt number is. You know, he's currently 75. Let's see what he goes up to. No, McAtee's 87, isn't he? The price we paid for him is a disgrace. That's the problem I have. That's the problem I have too. We're going to speak about O'Reilly more, but the bottom line is with O'Reilly, he absolutely deserves what he's got in here. I'm really, really proud of this for him. You know, he was so good last season, and it's just brilliant to see him get what he deserves here. Really, really is. Big commitment from him, knowing game time isn't a guarantee. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, you know. Again, O'Reilly, two bids from Leverkusen. These guys were serious. Premier League clubs obviously wanted him too. Most of them probably offering regular football. And this guy turned it all down and said that he wants to stick with us. Okay, we've obviously laid out the project, and I really like it. Honestly, it would have been crazy if we did let this one go. It would have been nuts to lose this guy. We obviously rate him. Other clubs rate him. He knows that he'd probably get game time elsewhere. Okay, probably a bit more of a guarantee, but he's stuck with us, and I can only rate it. Now, I'm going to speak about him more, but we will obviously speak about Vital Hayes, who may as well have had a here we go. Girona have agreed a deal in principle to sign Vital Hayes on loan from Man City. Formal steps to follow. Hayes will travel for his medical and contracts signing. So it may as well be a here we go about saying it from Fabrizio. And look, this deal itself, the loan move, I don't really have an issue with it. Okay? For me, it's the context of the whole deal itself. Okay, the whole previous 6 months of Vital Hayes, that does confuse me a bit. Okay, because this is the thing. Okay, this is the whole layout of the deal. We signed this guy in January. Okay, it came out of nowhere. Okay, it just kind of happened. Palmeiras highly rated him. They didn't want to lose him. All right. So we go in. We're like, okay, 30 million. How's that sounding? Palmeiras were like, we could accept that, but we want to keep him on loan until after the Club World Cup. Sissy, we're obviously like, that doesn't really work for us. We really want to bring him in now. So if you want, okay, you've liked our 30 million offer, but so that we can bring him in now, we'll bring it up to about 35 million, just so we can bring him in now. He can help us now in this tough part of the season where we've got injuries in the centre back area. Okay, we really need the reinforcing. And Palmeiras, extra 5 million. It's not bad. Well, you know what? Have him. You can have him now. He's your player. All right, we bring him in. He does his medical. He holds up the shirt. He's now a Man City player. He hardly kicks a ball for us in that time. Okay, fine. Nico Gonzalez, who cost 60 million, was similar. Okay, fine. Vital Hayes, your time will be next season. Club World Cup comes around. I want to see some Vital Hayes football. Okay. He gets one game. Let's see. Maybe he's going to get some game time next season. Just for us to go loan him again. Look, I don't mind him going on loan now, okay, because I know he's not going to play any football. But we paid 35/40 million for this guy in January. And I know it's an inflated price because it's Jan. That comes in the parcel of buying a January signing. Most of the time you will see prices go up for players because no one wants to lose a key player in January. It's an awful feeling. And Vital Hayes was very, very good. It was very sought after. Real Madrid was sniffing. Arsenal. I saw like the look of him. And so we decided to jump the gun in January, bring him in now because we deemed him a top talent and a really big part of the future. Okay, despite potentially the opportunity to get him a bit cheaper in the summer, a considerable amount cheaper. This is City saying 15 million. Okay, but even 20 million would have been about half of what we paid. So, we could have got this guy. Okay, let's highball it. Okay, we could have got this guy for 20 million this summer. Okay, loaned him out like a typical player, like you're seeing with Echeverri, like you've seen with Perone in the past, and like you've seen with multiple signings that City make and then loan out. Severe Nipan's about to have the same treatment. Differences with Severe Nipan, though, we didn't sign him for 50 million in January, or 40 or 30, or even 25. We signed him for 15, and he's going on loan to develop. Okay, and I don't mind the Vital Hayes going on loan to develop, but it just means that the past 7 months from City, past 6-7 months of having this guy in the squad, developing him, it just feels like, why was he even there? Was he there to sell an extra shirt? I doubt he got too many sales for a player that didn't play a lot and was a bit of an unknown. Okay, especially considering he came in January and so did Marmouche, and I imagine his shirt sold more than anyone's. And I reckon the club knew that going into it. So it's a very questionable deal. Now then, what I do want to say is I don't want this to be the end of Vital Hayes' time at Man City. At the end of the day, this guy clearly has top potential. He was being highly looked at. Real Madrid were looking at him. Arsenal was sniffing as well. Again, we jumped the gun. We brought this guy in because we deemed him a key part of a future project. That future project better not be selling him to Roma in 2 years, or selling him to Marseille in 3 years. Loan him, let him develop, give him a few years out on loan. Okay, do what Arsenal did with Saliba, for example. Saliba, they signed him, top talent. He went on loan for a couple of seasons. No one really knew much about him, just knew that he was this young centre-back going on loan for Arsenal. Comes back into the Premier League after a really good season, absolutely cooks for Arsenal. I want to see that Vital Hayes. Don't get me wrong, if he's not good enough, then he's not good enough, then we move him on. But I want that to happen. I don't want it to be Hayes going to Girona. I don't like it. Girona is bad nowadays. He'll struggle. Yeah, they did really struggle last season. It is a tough area for him to go into. Absolutely. I search up Girona because it's not like when Savinho was with them and Girona had that brilliant season where they were fighting for the title at one point. They're not like that anymore. That was very much a one-season wonder. 23-24, they finished third, above Atletico Madrid, with 81 points, 85 goals scored, 46 goals conceded. A lot of goals, only 2 less than Real Madrid, more than anyone else in the league apart from them. A solid defence too, only trailing a little bit compared to second and fourth. Come 24-25, they are absolutely terrible. Very... What? Okay then. They have about half the points they had, finished 1 point above relegation. How... that's a huge fall off. That's an incredible fall off. It's just a poor level. Look at Savinho. I don't know if I can judge him. I don't know if I can judge him at Girona, no matter how it goes. It's such a poor level. Now they are fighting to stay up. Don't get me wrong, relegation seems tight last season. 40 points got this team relegated, and 13th had 42 points. Incredibly tight race in terms of relegation, don't get me wrong. But to fall from 81 points all the way to 16, 81 points gets you blinking third again. Gets you Champions League football. You only got Conference League. Girona made Savinho look like a top goal scorer. He looks like he needs time to get more physical. Should have gone to Roma. Would have been much better loan. I don't get to City. It's probably partly because it's our own club. It's the CFG, keeping them very much in that circle. You're seeing with Roma and Echeverri, Roma pushing for an option to buy in the Echeverri deal. We let that go through. I don't even know, man. But, it's just to keep him in the circle, make sure that there's no way he goes out of our reach. Because if he goes to Girona, okay, the club will probably be looking at it and we're under Man City's wing. You're going to develop here a year, maybe 2, depending on how you do. Maybe you'll come back here next year, and you can always be assured that this is a stepping stone for you to make it back at Man City. Whilst Roma and Echeverri, okay, Echeverri goes to Ramona with or without the option to buy. Roma are going to be like, welcome to our place, isn't it beautiful? And hey, you do good, lad. This will be your home for the next 5 years. You don't have to stay at you don't have to stay at Man City. Have a great season here. If we want you and you like it here, dip from them. Put in a transfer request and come to us. And suddenly we ain't got and suddenly, because he's been at their club for a year, it's like, oh, okay, then he loves it there now, and he wants to dip. Oh, that's a shame, we lost the top talent. But Girona won't play it like that. Okay, they're going to be like, this is your stepping stone to make it back to Man City, who are the top. Girona were better than the Spanish league mate Savinho, goal scorer. Echeverri goes, he's gone. Yeah, it looks like he's going to Roma more than Girona. It looks like he's pushing for that move too. Top mentality, I like it. Roma, it's Europe. I don't get what it's doing for Vital Hayes going to a club like Girona, no offense. They don't have European football of any sort. They're a relegation fighting team. And the Spanish league, again, it's not. I'm not going to say I'm a Serie A expert, but it's not the most physical league going. It's very open. Okay, compared to the Premier League, which is open but can get physical. But the Serie A, it's a tough league. It's not easy. You're gonna have a hard time there, but it's where you can be made. But it's where players can get made, which is why I worry about the Girona move, because I just don't like it. I don't like it. But let's hop back over to This Is City now. No, this is City Extra. Vital Hayes is a simple loan until June 30, 2026. The defender will be the first of the Man City players to arrive this summer and is set to travel to Spain in the coming days. Good luck to him. I hope he smashes it. I would never want him to do bad. Obviously, he's a guy we spent 35 million on, more than Shirky, more than Aitnouri. We spent a lot of money on this guy. I want him to come back and do and go crazy. I need City back, man. I'm sick of everyone meltdown 24/7. All these so-called City fans writing us off and S off Liverpool. You are not welcome back. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Liverpool have strengthened majorly. They are spending the money, and fair play to them. Okay, but I'm not just willing to write us off. I didn't write us off after we lost the league in 1920. I'll always support City right till the end. Despite how bad it may look, I'll always back us. Always. Arsenal and Liverpool are only getting stronger, and I'll admit that. But so have we. Shirky, top player. Steve Black, like Alf, you mean? I don't think Alf is downplaying City. Don't get me wrong. You can big up Liverpool. I big up Liverpool. I can't deny good signings. Virt's good signing. Frimpong, good signing. Kirkus, good signing. Ekatike looks a really top player. And if they bring in Isak, there's no denying that's a good signing. Those are really good players. Okay, but Reinders is the best midfielder in Serie A last season. Shirky's one of the hottest talents from the French league last season, and arguably in the world. Now he's a proven left back in the Premier League. James Trafford is a top young goalkeeper who's also homegrown. I like all those signings. I back them. Look at my voice going a little bit weird there. Two of them are a bit more potential based. One of them's already Premier League proven, and Rangers is an experienced body in that midfield who's in his prime, and I love that signing. He's my favourite out of the bunch. Liverpool just ignored the weakness. 3 centre-backs. It's hilarious. Yeah, I can't get behind that, to be honest. So, Steve Black, I don't think Alf downplays Man City, but I think he also pays Liverpool their flowers, as I do. As I do, okay? But I will not write us off. I will always back us. Alf says City won't win anything, and Liverpool better. So, yep, Alf. Well, I'm not necessarily saying that City will win the league. Okay, I don't expect Man City to win the league this season necessarily because I know it's a rebuild. I'll love it if we win the league, and I'll predict us to win the league because I'm a mug. Okay, but I acknowledge that Liverpool are only getting stronger, but I also acknowledge Liverpool's weaknesses. You know, Liverpool have got a big weakness, and if it does come into fruition, then it could be dangerous for them. So, to say we won't win anything, I'm not so sure. Okay, but I don't think Alf is downplaying us like other City fans are. Because Alf will tell you that, you know, he likes our signings. Okay, he'll say that Aitnouri is a bit of a luxury signing, but it's a nice signing. James Trafford is a good signing. Reinders is a much needed signing, and Shirky's a good signing. Alf will tell you that as well as I. But Alf is very level-headed, I would say. In some regard, okay, we all have agendas, we all have bias to some level. But I feel like he tries to be as level-headed as much as he can in terms of long-term ideas. Liverpool have only gotten stronger. He's probably thinking they're going to go win the league again. It wouldn't surprise me. You know, and Champions League teams only getting stronger there too. PSG look insane. So those guys too. You know. And cups, we could get a cup. You know, I will never write us off for the cup. But Premier League and Champions League do seem very difficult this year. Not to write us off, though. Mate, I have City fans having a go at me every single day in the defence of Liverpool. Just going to support Liverpool. Yeah, look. For me as City fans, we should cling on to the hope that we can of anything this season, because hope is what really pushes us on. I feel, you know, every watch along last season when we were really in the mud. Okay, I clung on to hope that it would get better. Each game in that 1-in-14 run, I would predict that City would win it. Okay, because eventually we would, and I clung on to that. But for every loss, it did get more disheartening, but I always backed it because I had enough hope. It was this morning connect on Stephen MC post. I'll go have a look at that in a minute. But big ups to you, Steve Back. Until the season starts, we won't know. Yeah, true. And Liverpool might reinforce, but we'll have to wait and see. With the money they're spending, though, I don't know how they can. I'll definitely have a look at that in a moment, though. This is City. We'll have a look through Tiki's stuff in a minute. Jacob Bright. Doku's YouTube channel's up and running, by the way. I haven't watched this video yet, but let me know if it's good. Maybe I will. Just let him have Ramona. Let him have Roma. You know, if he wants Roma, then let him go there. You know, I don't think we should dictate where he wants to go. Listen to more to his streams. Definitely not happy with Sissy, but hey, all mates. I have no interest in those teams until I die. To be fair, Alf does have a lot of issues with Sissy. Okay, I think Alf has been a bit more pep out than in for a while now. You know, we've spoken about that quite a bit. On this channel and on his own, you know, we've spoken about Pep out quite a bit, so he definitely does have more issues than I do with City. I'm nervous about this season because I don't know how we're going to be. But yeah, Alf definitely does have issues with City, and so definitely is to say. Any more taking news to United? I haven't seen any updates on that now. It's like people forget how good we were and that system against Juventus. Yeah, I mean, if we implement stuff like that more, tighten up at the back, which I've no doubt we will, then yeah, I'm pretty confident. Aguero here talking about City signings. Giveaway. Simpson-Pusey, by the way, looks like he's going to Celtic in the Championship. Good luck to him in the Scottish Championship. Good luck to him. He's going to arguably the best team in Scotland, but he's also going to get Champions League football, which is good. I like that. It's not going to contain an option or obligation to buy either, which is an interesting one. Yeah, apparently United want Ortega. 100 mil. Nipan will leave on loan. The talk is the midfielder should also be followed by both Vital Hayes and Cardiac Viril, though the latter is not expected to join Roma. An astronomical offer would alter City's plans to keep Edison at the team this summer. We earned 37 million from the Club World Cup. Watford are in talks to sign Max Alena. Yeah, we're basically caught up here. Everton distancing themselves from Jack Grealish. Yeah, basically up to date in terms of where that's concerned. We can win the league with Nunes. We won some teams with Fabian Delph. As the season goes on, we get better, hopefully. Not going to Alpha. Nunes is no worse than Frimpong. Debate that if you want. But I just think he's no worse. Gotta go now to my stream. See, I replied back before. Big up Smash Likes. Oh, yes. Big up Sister City. Well, TBH is my opinion. Steve and watch both Frimpong. Just cannot defend no matter what. We will be at the end of the season. Nunes can at times. He just has both moments. Yeah, what I will say on Frimpong and on Nunes is they're both very solid. Meant Delph Nunes. No. I don't think it's impossible for us to win the league. I just think our chances are quite low, is how I will put it. I think our chances are quite low to win the league just because of how... Just because of how good Liverpool are. Arsenal have only gotten stronger, and I think we need a bit more time. But I will never write us off. Never. But yeah, look, Nunes I think is solid, and I don't mind keeping him as rotational. I do still want a right back, that be clear. But yeah, Nunes is solid. Okay, and I do understand what he's talking about with Frimpong. Frimpong at Leverkusen was a bit more of a right wing back than a right back. Not to say he couldn't defend, but he was a bit more pushing forward, and that third centre back would do the bulk of the defending, with Frimpong obviously chipping in very good. But at Liverpool, unless there's a system change, Frimpong will be a right back. Now we are unpredictable in our favour of that. Yeah, we are a bit unpredictable, aren't we? You know, we could be awful. This season, okay, we could be absolutely awful. It's no better than last season at points, and we're just nowhere near at it. Okay, the signings have all flopped and whatnot, and everyone's only gotten worse. Or everyone could hit the ground running and just absolutely ball out. We just got John Lundstrom on loan. He started every game for Rangers and was in the Champions League many times to be a very good Championship midfielder. Yes, Glimpse, how you doing? And how's not John Nadala doing? I saw you message me. I didn't respond because I just never got around to it. But I saw you message me that John Nadala hit the post within like 2 minutes of his debut. Did he continue to do well, or was it more like a one-shot wonder? But yeah, I don't think the league is impossible. I think it's very difficult. Chelsea have gotten stronger. Arsenal, Liverpool, it's tough. But yeah, I ain't writing us off, that is for sure. Frimpong, I think there is defensive worry there. Injuries for Liverpool could really hinder them as well, to be fair. So, there is concern with that, where that is, to be fair. What? Let me see that, guys. This is it was on about. Stephen MC. I can find that guy. Oh, but can't find it. Oh well. But look, I think we covered all the big news today. Now then, I did see a post earlier. Okay, I can't confirm a source or whatnot because I just don't know it. But I did see a post earlier that apparently says he aren't in for a right back anymore. If we aren't, really disheartening. I'm not happy about that. If we are, though, awesome. Let's go for a right back. But I'm not 100% sure on that. Now then, in terms of tonight, you're not quite done with me yet because I'm uploading a video. It's all about James Trafford. You can probably guess what the thumbnail's roughly going to look like based off a theme of when signings do join the club, and I upload a video. But that is happening tonight, so keep an eye out for that. If you do want to watch that, feel free to. And also tomorrow on Blue Friday show should hopefully have another stream / video for you as well. So, kicking off August with a Blue Friday show, very excited, and about 2 weeks into the Premier League season now, just over. I'm really excited for that though, Blues. Big ups for the support on the channel. Big ups for everyone who tuned into this stream. If you did like it, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe and turn the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you all in the next one.